How much money do you need to retire at 55? In today's video, I'm going to show you something completely different than what the financial planners are telling you about the 4% rule or about the 25X rule, which are great rules, but frankly, for most people, they're not that great. And I'm also going to show you how you can hit the eject button and head to retirement really to any time in your life. I don't care if you're 25, 35, 45, or 55. It's possible to effectively retire if you do something called the hybrid plan that I'm going to talk about today. Let's first talk about what the financial advisors talk about, which is the 4% rule. And that's that you can withdraw 4% of the equity from your retirement each year, and that can support your lifestyle. I don't love that, and the problem is market volatility. And the reason I don't love it is because markets drop, and especially with where we are today, we have a lot of uncertainty. We have a time when Medicare and Medicaid are devouring the budget. We have potential wars on the horizon, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that we're spending a lot of money just supporting, wars that are going on through the world, and that's big money. I mean, they drop a bomb, it's $1 million half the time. So really, really expensive. And the politicians are really unable to dial back the spending. They just can't. So I think two things are likely from that. One is inflation is inevitable. And when inflation goes up, the market tends to go down. And I think we could have a very severe crisis in this country. They're talking about Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security running out of money, which means increased taxes. It also means the hidden tax of inflation. So it really can be a mess. So I think if you're going to retire, you need to account for the fact that your portfolio could really have a lot of volatility. And if you take out money while the portfolio is down, when it pops back up, your money's not there, and it's really a problem. So I personally think that when you're talking about your retirement money, I think you should be living on the interest. And the interest rate I think you can rely on is 5%. And so I think if you think, I'll live on 5% from my portfolio each year based on interest. And if you look at that, if you needed $100,000 to live, you need $2 million in retirement savings. Now you may say, how am I going to make $2 million? Well, here's the secret. The secret is do a side business where you can make that great income without working yourself to a bone, where maybe you're working a day or two a week and maybe a couple of odd hours, other things. Do a side business where you can make that money and you don't need to withdraw your retirement savings. When I talk about retirement, with my wife and with my family, what we talk about is dialing it back, where I could work, a day a week, manage my business. Now, I'm personally not a person that wants to do that. I love work. I love the challenge. So I don't want to do that. But if I were going to retire right now, what I would do is just take the business I do, which is called Overages, and I would just do that a day a week. Right now I have my Overages business. I have an education business where I teach people that business. But the Overages business itself, I could easily dial back to a day a week and make great money. I could support my entire lifestyle. And I live very, very well, so the lifestyle is a fairly expensive one. But I could easily do it. And you could model that same kind of thing, where what you want to do is a business where you can leverage other people's efforts. Like, for example, in my Overages business, which is the easiest thing for me to talk about, I have someone who gets the leads, meaning gets people that are owed money, and then they get the contact information for those folks. They reach out to them and say, hey, we found some money that you're owed for a percentage. We can get you that money. Would you be interested in working with us? The few people that raise their hand and say, yes, I'd love to work with you guys. I have a team that then takes that, submits the claim for the money, gets the money out. And what I'm doing is orchestrating and managing the process. I'm making sure that leads are coming in, making sure that skip tracing is being done to get the contact information for the people, making sure the callers are making their calls, and making sure that the claims are flowing through. So it's very easy business to manage. I'm not doing everything. And the key to a retirement business is have a business where you can have other people do steps in the business so that you're not doing it. Another example of this is owning rental apartments. And right now is not the right time to buy rental apartments, but it's going to come around again. My thought is within 2 or 3 years, another opportunity for rental apartments is going to come around. And that's when you can go and acquire rental apartments, where the idea is to acquire enough apartments that you don't have to do the management. So if you can buy a complex with 100 units or more, that's where you're going to have on-site management where they can handle the clogged plumbing, showing units, taking care of people getting locked out in the middle of the night so you can open up their apartment for them. Other people can handle that. I think in any good retirement business, that's the model where you have other people doing the doing. Another example of this is some franchises. Some franchises are very light on management, where they have systems and processes and they show you how to run the business as a business. So that's another option. Of course, this is for people with capital, but you could take your retirement savings and convert it into a good franchise. That's a way to do that. So I think the mistake that financial planners are kind of pulling on you is telling you just have this big lump sum of savings is the only way you're going to retire. I say there's a hybrid. And the hybrid is have a business where you're not actively doing things all the time, where other people are doing it, where you're managing the business. And if you're interested in Overages, which is a business you can do this in, check out the video down below. It's my intro to the Overages Business video. You'll learn how that business works, and that's an example of this kind of business. The key, though, sort of the overall thing, get something where you can be the manager of the business without spending tons of your time, limited to a day or two a week, and then you can retire at 55, or for that matter, 45 or 35, and still have a great life and have a lot of freedom, be able to pursue your hobbies, your activities, your passions, but be making great money. You just have to think differently, because the way that the world teaches us, it teaches us to be in a cog in a machine. So, you're going to work in a big company, you're this little cog in a big machine, and that's good, but I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a cog spinning around in a circle for 30 or 40 years of my career. No, thank you. Instead, I'd rather be the captain of my own ship, and entrepreneurship is the key to doing that.